Good evening, everyone. It's on or about 6:30, and I'll call this meeting of Brighton Council to order. With a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Vink, seconded by Councillor Bateman, that Council amend the September 16th, 2019 Council meeting to add a staff report to Section 9.1 regarding the construction of a new dwelling at 917 Carman Road, and Section 12.1 to add a corresponding bylaw. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. So that says 9.1, but it should actually be 9.4. And 12.2. And with that, I have a motion moved by Councillor LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Rowley, that Council approve the September 16th, 2019 Council meeting agenda as amended. Is there any discussion? Those in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Bless you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? And if so, please state the general nature thereof. There are none noted. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Rowley.
Thank you, Mayor. On Thursday evening, I was pleased to represent Council in the municipality in Cobourg at the YMCA Staff and Volunteer Appreciation Evening. Went well, it was well received, and I should say it was nice kind of catching up with some partners that we don't often see too much anymore. It was always good. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Tadman.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the pleasure, and it doesn't sound like the right word to use, but it was a pleasure to attend Ralph Banguy's celebration of life on Saturday. And it was a packed crowd, and there was all kinds of neat things that Ralph had done in his life with pictures and cartoons, because he was quite a cartoonist, and he did a lot of cartoons for the paper that the people in Brighton in the past got quite a laugh, because he had quite a sense of humor. But what I want to bring up is that Ralph and Eugenia took it upon themselves to buy the railroad station, which is Memory Junction, and it is up for sale and has been for 2 years. And I just think it will be an awful shame if we lose that. And so I will be bringing a motion forward to see how we can go about. Thank you. Laura, I've had a couple others said they would too, so it sounds like most everybody on council will be supporting in this. And so, first of all, I want to see how many people are interested and see if people would like to sit on the committee. The same thing happened years ago with Soho and Save Our Heritage, and Proctor House was really run down, and it's a nice building now, well maintained. So if anybody has any thoughts about how we move forward, please let me know.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Not that anyone needs a reminder, but we do have Applefest coming up, and there are flyers going around everywhere. They're on social media as well, but if anyone wants the actual paper ones so they can know what's happening, we do have them in the office here, and they're in various locations downtown. And we have the car show as well happening on that weekend, the Children's Village. A few of us are walking in the Walk a Mile in her shoes. If you're looking for someone to sponsor, there's a few of us doing that as well. So I just want to invite everyone to come out September 26 to 29.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anybody else? I was pleased to be able to attend the Raise the Roof Committee's final thanks, donor thanks barbecue yesterday, and Councillor Rowley was there, Councillor LeBlanc was there. I didn't see anybody. Were you there? I'm sorry, Councillor Tadman, I didn't see you. It was very well attended, and Chief Caddick offered his thanks to the Legion for their service to the community. So thank you, Chief, for that. I bring this up because if you go to, and I've got one here thanks to Councillor Rowley, if you go to half-eaten, if you go to Tim Hortons, you can buy a Smile cookie, and the proceeds will go to the Legion. Their next fundraiser will be to fix their hall. They had some water damage because, of course, they needed a new roof. They now have a new roof. They need to fix up their hall. So go and buy a cookie, enjoy a Tim Hortons cookie, and help fundraise for the Legion. That's this week, all this week at Tim Hortons. And then following week, September 21st to 28th, is Legion Week. And there are a number of things going on, starting with Soldier On, the motorcycle ride on Saturday the 21st. Of course, the Legion is always very involved with Applefest events on the Friday and the Saturday. And each day there are things going on. So the Legion is open to the world, and anybody can be a member now, I understand. So why not? Why not go out and help your Legion? It's a good group of people who serve those who have served us. So thank you for that. So last call for announcements. Councillor Rowley.
Thank you. Just reminded me that council doesn't meet again before Applefest, but something else on Friday, September the 27th, there will be a ribbon cutting of sorts, a thank you barbecue down at Presqu'île Lighthouse. Our project there is nearing completion. We've got sandblasting going on and some metal work being done this week, and hopefully if the weather holds up, all of that will be done before next Friday. So once again, everyone welcome to check out the project.
Thank you. So I have a motion moved by Councillor LeBlanc. So we're moving now into the adoption of minutes. Thank you, everyone. I have a motion moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Rowley. The Council approved the September 3rd, 2019 Council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. I have a motion moved by Councillor LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Rowley, that Council approve the September 9th, 2019 planning meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. We have no statutory public meeting this evening, so we'll move into delegations. Our first delegate is Laura Quirk, representing Brighton Pickleball Club, with a formal request to continue playing at the King Edward Park Arena. Yes, please. So, Laura, I will do what I do with all delegations and remind you that we provide 10 minutes for delegates to provide us with their information, and then we will open the floor to members of council for questions of clarification. There you go. The chief's going to help you out. There you go.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Laura Quirk, and I'm with
And if you could just draw the microphone just a little closer to you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Quirk, and I'm with the Brighton Pickleball Club. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in North America. Thus, it should be no surprise that Brighton's inaugural pickleball season was extremely successful. We started our 2019 season with 65 people signing up at our open house registration in the spring, and we closed in August with a waiting list. Most of the local players are new to the game. We fully expect increased interest in the coming year as more seniors buy into the community and word of mouth spreads from the existing group. As our club and venue is advertised on Ontario Pickleball Association and Pickleball Canada's webpage, this year we had cottagers, campers, and a couple from Georgia who docked their sailboat in Brighton to join us in play. The formation of Brighton's Pickleball Club aligns well with Council's plans for pickleball courts, ensuring full use of the courts when they are available. Today, we request formal approval to play in the arena again next year from early April to August, and we plan to charge similar rates to Cobourg, Trenton, and Belleville. $75 for members and $5 for one-time visits. Similar to any new club, we have startup costs, and as a club, we're committed to contributing to the cost of using the King Edward Arena and investing in the future of pickleball in Brighton. Our proposal going forward is to contribute all membership fees minus $1,000 yearly to the town of Brighton. We estimate our income to be $5,000 plus. Not only are we utilizing an existing facility that wouldn't otherwise be in use, we are also providing income for the town. We ask that council approve our request based on the income mentioned, the same hours and days as this year. And this year we played 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. We would like to acknowledge and thank Mayor Ostrander, council, Mr. Miller and Mr. Castleman for giving us a chance, supporting us along the way, and continued support as we mature as a club. A club is more than signing up new members. Our focus is to promote pickleball as a sport for all ages in Brighton and surrounding areas, to identify and assist in providing locations and times for pickleball play year-round, and to continue to introduce new players to our sport, and most importantly, provide opportunity to advance skills at all levels. This year, Kingston and Cobourg both held tournaments. Kingston had an attendance of over 500 players, and we are proud to say several of our members played in these tournaments and won gold and silver medals. There is no question that pickleball is here to stay and a drawing card for all age groups. The Brighton Pickleball Club is looking forward to next year's season.
Thank you very much. Are there questions from members of council for clarification purposes? Councillor Anderson?
Just a quick question. How long has Kingston or other areas near here been actively involved in pickleball?
The whole area, like you're talking?
Well, they have 500 members in Kingston, so how
The Kingston tournament was the Canadian national
that's already
tournament.
attended.
And they have it for 2 years, so they're hosting it again next year. So it's
So it's
people from
relatively
right
new.
across Canada.
Yeah, it's relatively new around
Right.
Ontario.
But the Brighton Pickleball Club did very well. They won a gold, silver, and a bronze medal.
I've seen you
So-
in action.
So it's, we're doing really well for a small town. To have next year 100 members, that's just astounding. It really is
I wish you well.
for a small town. But I'd like to reiterate what Laura said. We couldn't have done it if it wasn't for Mr. Castleman, the support of the mayor, and Jim Miller, his staff. When we said we wanted 3 courts, they put them in right away. Then we said, look, this is more popular than we thought. Now we need 4. It was in right away. And next year we need 6 courts in the arena. And he said it's not a problem.
We'll have to wait for hockey season to be done.
Well,
It won't be in right away.
but I mean, we couldn't have done it if it wasn't for you people here.
Yeah, well,
So
we're
you
glad-
did a good thing.
Glad we could help. Councillor Rowley?
I believe my question was just answered. You said your membership's up to 100 now?
Well, we have 65, but we have 35 on the waiting list.
Because 65 is your maximum that you can house? Is that why, or?
Well, we have a waiting list because a lot of the players on the waiting list are new to the game. So you can only take so many new players in at once because they take up a lot of time and a lot of court space, whereas players that can play the game, a game would be about 5 to 7 minutes. But, put 4 brand new people on the court and, a game could go like an hour, right? Because they're new to the game. So.
Councillor Tadman?
Thank you. You said this was your first year, but you did play at Gosport before, and that wasn't suitable, as I understood. But I noticed that some people are coming down and playing while the ice is back in the arena. So will some of the players still be playing at Gosport, or is that?
I can address that. The reason we're not playing as much at Gosport is because of the condition of the court, the unevenness in the pavement. It's very easy to roll your ankle and hurt yourself.
It's dangerous.
So it is a bit dangerous. But I use that court quite a bit to give lessons.
Okay. Yeah, but because I live just east of that, and I see people there. So okay.
And also for practice. Players use it for practice, just to practice serving.
Okay.
Any other questions? Councillor Bateman?
Congratulations on on having a successful season. I had a question around your membership. You said you had 100. So what was your gross revenue this year? Are you able to say what you generated?
It's about 5,000 this year, between 4,500 and 5,000 probably. But we had a lot of expenses. We had nets to buy. We bought 2 nets this year. Balls, pickleballs are actually very expensive. It's about $350 for 100 balls, and we could very easily go through, sometimes in a day, like in a game, 4 and 5 or 6 balls will get broken, so they're quite expensive. So this year, coming through our actual door, and this year we charged $25 for a membership, so it was a little less, and people paid $1 for each time that they came. We probably had maybe about 90 people that signed up this year and paid $25. Some of the 90 did not come out to play. Some people that I had contacted that decided not to come out to play, they said it was their contribution, as they were very happy. Pickleball has finally arrived in Brighton. Some people came out and they just decided it was not the game for them. So, we can't say that we will have 90 people come back in next year, because I really don't know. We'll have hold a registration. I'm thinking out of all the people that played this year, we would easily have 50 to 60 that will automatically come back into our door, and we have about 35 on a waiting list. And maybe about 10 to 15 of that 35 are new people that have come into Brighton that were moving in like end of August and September that can play the game. So these people will just automatically join our club next year. We hope. We don't have a crystal ball.
Any other questions? So I have a motion moved by Councillor Rowley, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receive the delegation from Laura Quirk, Brighton Pickleball Club, and refer to staff for a report. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our second delegation is with regard to the ENSS Hope Project, and we have Mr. Hussey and Mr. Towers, I believe, presenting to us this evening. Gentlemen? You just have to teach them how to technically turn the light on. Here we go. There it is. Yes, we're working on it. Aidan, Max, welcome. The floor is yours. And again, you have 10 minutes, gentlemen.
Good evening, Your Worship and Council. My name is Max Towers, and this is Aidan Hussey, and we're grade 12 students at ENSS, and we're here to talk to you about the ENSS Hope Project. As you're all very much aware, ENSS has had a long-standing rich tradition of raising money for the Terry Fox Foundation. Terry Fox ran across Canada in 1980 to raise money for cancer research, and since he finished his run, we're coming upon 40 years of ENSS continuing his tradition and raising money for Terry Fox. In 2016, we surpassed the $1 million mark and are now going towards our second $1 million. A couple years ago, my friend Max and I, we sat down and we talked about how we can get students more involved with continuing to raise for cancer research, and we ended up coming up with a project called the ENSS Hope Project. We have made a video here in partnership with the Kawartha Pine Ridge District School Board that outlines the project that we would all love for you to see.
Cancer has affected my family greatly. I've lost many people to the disease, which inspired me to start this project with the help of many others. ENSS has been so rich in tradition of raising money for Terry Fox that we knew that if we could come up with an engaging project for students, that we could get people to raise money for this horrible disease. And so then the ENSS Hope Project was born. Started with a letter writing campaign selling engraved commemorative bricks so that their legacy, whether it's someone who's graduated from UNSS, fought the disease, passed away from the disease, whatever it may be, they can keep their legacy at this very community-driven school. The special piece about this project is that you are able to create a story and timeless legacy here at UNSS. And that is why we hope that you get involved in this worthwhile project. If you'd like to support the project, you can buy a commemorative brick to go in the Garden of Hope. You can pick up an order form in the main office. You can access them online through our Facebook page, our school website, or our Instagram page at UNSS Hope Project. If you have any questions or concerns or you'd like to talk to us about the project, you can email us at unsshopproject@gmail.com. When you lose people that are so close to you, it makes you want to raise money for innovative types of cancer research so that you don't lose people that are a light of sunshine in your life or that have so much life still left to live. And that is why we need to continue fundraising so that people can beat this horrible disease and so that we can start seeing people continue to make a difference in the lives of others and live their life to the fullest.
So, as you can see from the video, a large part of the project is the purchase of commemorative bricks, Unilock bricks, that are sold to community members and are inscribed with the name or in memory of someone who has been affected by the disease. Installation is expected to start in the late fall of 2019. As you can see by the illustrations done by Mr. Boers, who kindly generated his time to gather specs about the project, etc., it has become a very big task that the school has taken on. And with doing so, Max and I over the past month have been seeking sponsorship donations from local businesses as well as school groups to support with the building fund of the project. To date, we have raised $8,500 to support the building fund. Of those, these are the committed sponsors. The Brian Todd Memorial Community Fund, the ENSS Parent Council, the ENSS Student Government, the ENSS Musical Department, the Rotary Club of Brighton, Mike and Laurie's No Frills, Coles Timber Mart, Vanderland Building Products, and Leon's Trenton have kindly donated towards this. We are here today to ask and see if the municipality would like to support this project in the building fund. One of the special pieces about being a sponsor towards the building fund is that you get to be featured on our donor wall, which, as you can see by this image, is right behind the flagstick. And it's very nice that community members will be able to come and pay tribute to this garden. It's a very open project. Anyone can participate, knowing that the funds go to a very meaningful cause. Thank you for letting us present here tonight. Thanks for considering. If you would like us, we didn't know if this would be a question from council or if you would like us to give more details about how much the project costs, what we are seeking as a donation. Mayor Ostrander, I wasn't sure.
I think that might be wise.
Okay, thank you. So currently, after talks with Mr. Boers, who has given us the specs, and our principal has given a max cost to the project, it cannot exceed $30,000. As mentioned, we have raised $8,500. Of course, anything would be kindly appreciated from the municipality. We will accept anything. Max and I have been working very hard over the past month to gather that $8,500, and we understand that getting to that $30,000 may be a little more difficult than anticipated. So any larger donation would be much appreciated, but we understand that there are financial restrictions to how much the municipality can support us with.
So how much are you looking for?
In a perfect world, Mayor Ostrander, 20,000 would be, but we understand
I hear ya.
that. But we understand.
So I'm going to open the floor to members of council for questions of clarification, and we spoke before, the motion will be to refer to budget, so we can have that discussion at the time of budget, knowing that, you know, the upward hope is $20,000, and I hope you don't leave here thinking that that's a likelihood.
Of course.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you for coming. You guys are doing a great job. Do you have a time frame when you're hoping to have everything, the money raised and the project completed or started?
The construction of the project is going to begin in late fall of 2019, and currently the dedication ceremony is scheduled for May 2nd of 2020.
Okay.
Bricks, however, are going to be sold for a very, very long time. It's indefinitely, I guess you could say.
So how much do you need to start? Do you know what I mean? Like, so the whole project, though, you still need that 30,000 by the fall. Is that what you're saying?
The school is willing to pay.
Okay. And then you need to.
But the sponsorship money coming in can help cover the costs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Tadman.
I think it's a great credit to you students and all the former students that have raised so much money, and this is a great way to commemorate the past and for all those people that we have lost, all of us know or have somebody. The one question I was wondering, the commemorative bricks, how much are they individually?
There's 3 different sizes for the commemorative bricks. There's an individual, which is $40 with a $20 donation to Terry Fox. There's the family size, which is $60 with a $30 donation to Terry Fox. And then there's a corporate one, which is $200 with a $140 donation to Terry Fox.
Sure.
And order forms can be picked up at the main office or online.
Councillor Bateman.
Hello again. I'd like to extend an invitation, and it would help everybody see this because we did it last year at the one hockey tournament. So you're invited to any hockey tournament you want to come to this year. So if you want to make note, our opening tournament for Adam Pee Wee Rep is November 9th. So we will set the table up. If you guys want to display all this, and if anybody wants to tour and see the cost of these, they had them on display last year. So it's a great way to see it and touch base with myself, and I'll let you know the dates of all the other ones so that you can display the stuff again.
Thank you, Councillor Bateman.
Anyone else? Councillor Anderson?
I suppose you'd be at Apple Fest too, right?
Yes, we will have a booth
there. I think it's great. I think the municipality should be get behind this and support you in some way. That is a large ticket you brought to us tonight, but if the school is going to carry the ball for a while, and it sounds like you're going to do a very good job on your fundraising. You just got started, it sounds, does it? How long have you been at the fundraising?
We've been selling commemorative bricks for almost a year now, but the fundraising portion we started at the end of August.
So
for the building fund, that is.
Is that part of your $8,000 that you have? Are the money you've raised with the bricks as well as part of the $8,000 that you have?
The bricks is a separate thing. That the donations from the bricks go towards the Terry Fox Foundation, but the building fund is that $8,500. Yes.
But there's a portion that stays. A portion goes to the Terry Fox Fund, and a portion goes somewhere else. Where does that go?
From the commemorative bricks, Councillor Anderson, the part of the donation will go towards the Terry Fox Foundation. Donations towards the building fund are strictly to help build the Garden of Hope.
Okay, so you do have a long way to go.
The other portion of the cost is the cost of the brick
the
itself,
cost of the brick,
and likely the inscription, I would guess.
All right.
Yes.
So the actual cost of creating that memory. Any other questions, Councillor Bateman?
If I can, it's just to extend another invitation. It's to everybody, and it will be another opportunity for you to raise some money. I twinned actually with the Legion last year, and this year is going to be a little easier. On November 30th, I'm working with the NHL alumni again. It's outside of my Brighton hockey realm, and we've secured a game at the CAA Center in Belleville, and I will be given 500 tickets, and it's going to be split up between 3 charities, so it'll be a great opportunity. We can touch base. If you guys want to take part in that, if all 3 sell the number of tickets, it would be just over $1,200.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
So we'll touch base later. And
thank you.
Councillor LeBlanc?
Thank you. Just want to say I will come and meet with you at the school. You just started your memory song.
Just glad they're not here talking about dogs, Doug. Gentlemen, thank you very much. And I have a motion moved by Councillor Tadman, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receive the request from the ENSS project team, request of sponsorship for the Garden of Hope, and refer the matter to budget deliberations. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you again.
Thank you both. Chief, are there any yellow sheets in that citizens' comment box? Thank you. There are no citizens' comments this evening. So we'll move in straight into staff reports. Our first report is with regard to the crossing borders exercise coming up. Chief Caddick, we've read your report. Do you have anything to add or highlight?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, through you to members of council. We're certainly looking forward to this event. This is the, if you will, I guess an annual exercise that is held and sponsored in partnership with the County of Northumberland. Each year, one of the member municipalities participates, and this year it's Brighton's year to do this. But moreover than just Northumberland County, we've really stretched it out, and hence the name Crossing Borders. We have secured partnership with Hastings County, with Quiddy Healthcare. I'm trying to think who else we've got in here. There's actually 11 operational sites as part of this exercise. So it's going to be probably one of the largest ones that the county has conducted in many years. And it certainly brings together a lot of players that would not normally be together. This will be the first time that Northumberland and Hastings have ever done anything jointly. And so we're really excited that we're going to be able to host that. And of course, because of our geographic location, makes us the ideal location to do that. A lot of what we're going to feature as well this year in our exercise is a lot of technology. There's going to be, weather permitting, there's going to be live drone footage being broadcast to all the operational centers in all of the municipalities through web links and what have you, and virtual EOCs will be operational. So it's going to be quite an event. We've been conducting testing of sites to make sure that our internet's capability is there, and we're very pleased to say it is. And so we certainly are encouraging everyone to become involved. I know some members at the table here will be involved directly as part of our community control group, but those that aren't are certainly welcome to participate. And in your package, the participant manual was included, and if anyone wants to, we're going to probably have in the neighborhood of 130 to 140 individuals involved, besides our control group operation and we're going to be physically moving people around throughout our two municipalities. So we're looking forward, and we hope that if those that can participate, certainly will, because it'll be a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and I know you're very excited about this, as are the folks at Northumberland County, and I want to tell you how grateful I am that my first live exercise will be such a large one with so many moving pieces. Appreciate that very much. I have a motion moved by Councillor Tadman, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receives the report, Emergency Management Crossing Borders 2019 County Exercises Information. Is there any discussion? Councillor Rowley?
Just a question for the chief. Is this a whole day exercise? Is it all morning or just a whole day thing?
Through you, Your Worship, to Councillor Rowley, it will take the best part of the day. We're going to be starting around 8:30, and our anticipation is that we will be concluded by 2:30 at the latest. We do provide lunch too.
Just some of us work, right? So it would mean taking the day, right?
Yes.
It's a whole day.
Yes, he has.
Some of us work at jobs. Other than housework.
I think what Councillor Rowley means is some of us have jobs during the day outside of council. I think that's all she meant by that. Is there any other discussion? Councillor LeBlanc.
Through you, Chair, Chief, Fire Chief, how many volunteers do you have already?
If I can, through you, Your Worship, to Councillor LeBlanc, today's count, we were at 70 right now. So that was the report I got back this afternoon. The county, one of the emergency planners with Northumberland County is coordinating the volunteer efforts. So she indicated to me today we were just about the number of 70 volunteers, but we still need some more. So we will be reaching out to local clubs here in Brighton and to get that support if necessary.
Follow up? Through you, Chair, and I committed to 20 to you, and they'll be coming to contact you this week.
Perfect, thank you.
Is that included in your 70?
No.
It is not.
Very well, good. Anything further? All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Our next staff report is with regard to a sign variance. Mr. McGee, we've read your report. Do you have anything to add or highlight?
Thank you, Your Worship. There's nothing to add.
Thank you. I have a motion moved by Councillor Rowley, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receives the report dated September 16th, 2019, being a sign variance to permit the use of a LED information sign, and that Council of the Municipality of Brighton grants approval to the sign variance through resolution as requested by the Brighton Speedway, 775, County Road 64, to permit an LED digital sign to inform the public of upcoming events. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. And our third staff report is with regard to public notice provisions policy. Ms. Doran, we've read your report. Do you have anything to add or highlight?
No, just that this is a housekeeping item for our procedural bylaw.
Thank you very much. And I have a motion moved by Councillor Rowley, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receive the staff report regarding public notice provision policy, and further that Council pass a bylaw to enact a public notice provision policy. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. And our fourth staff report is the one that was added with regard to the construction of a new dwelling. And it's Mr. Ty's report. Mr. Castleman, Mr. Ty is not here, so I'll ask if you have anything to add or highlight.
I do not.
Thank you. And I will need a motion that Council receives the report regarding a request for permission to construct a new dwelling prior to the removal of the existing... Yeah, I've got it. Sorry. I have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Vink, seconded by Councillor Bateman, that Council receives the report regarding a request for permission to construct a new dwelling prior to the removal of the existing dwelling as prepared by the municipal planning consultant, and that Council hereby enacts a bylaw to authorize the Mayor and Deputy Clerk to execute an agreement between the Municipality of Brighton and the property owners, Allen and Trinchip Plumpton. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Are there any? Councillor Anderson. Your microphone, please.
I think that property, that building's vacant right now.
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
No? I could be wrong then.
May I clarify on that?
No.
No?
I don't think it's anybody's business if anyone's living there or not.
No,
frankly.
but your motion is to construct a new property, building prior to the...
The intent is for the people who dwell there to continue to dwell in the existing property, in the existing building, while their new home is being built.
Yeah.
And the agreement will be that they take down the existing building after they've moved into the new building within a certain period of time.
I understand that.
Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move into notices of motion and motions. We have two notices of motion this evening. The first is moved by Deputy Mayor Vink, seconded by Councillor Tadman. Whereas Lakeshore residents have been significantly impacted by Lake Ontario flooding, and whereas some Lakeshore residents live on private laneways, and whereas private laneways are not maintained by the municipality, and whereas the residents living along a private laneway known as Evergreen Lane have requested that the municipality deliver 5 loads of gravel, and whereas these residents have agreed to have the road maintained once gravel is received, now therefore be it resolved that the municipality of Brighton authorize staff to deliver 5 dump truck loads of gravel to Evergreen Lane. The second notice is moved by Mayor Ostrander, seconded by Deputy Mayor Vink, whereas Local Government Week has traditionally been recognized during the third week of October, and whereas the Municipality of Brighton Strategic Plan speaks to community and youth engagement, now therefore be it resolved that the Municipality of Brighton Council declares the week of October 13th to the 20th as Local Government Week in the Municipality of Brighton. And those will be read as motions at the next regular meeting of Council. There is no unfinished business, so we'll move into bylaws. I have a motion moved by Councillor Rowley, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. The Council gives a bylaw its first, second, and third reading and finally passed on this day, being a bylaw to establish a public notice policy. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. And the second bylaw is the one we added with regard to the new dwelling, and it's moved by Deputy Mayor Vink and seconded by Councillor Bateman. The Council give a bylaw its first, second, and third reading and finally passes on this date, being a bylaw to authorize the Mayor and the Deputy Clerk to execute an agreement between, should that be clerk? With permission, Deputy Mayor and Councillor Bateman, I'm striking the word deputy. Being a bylaw to authorize the Mayor and the Clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the Municipality of Brighton and Allen and Trinchia Plumpton regarding the construction of a new dwelling on the property located at Part Lot 27, Concession 3, 917 Carmen Road, in the Municipality of Brighton prior to the demolition of the existing dwelling. Is there any discussion? All in, Councillor LeBlanc?
Through you, Chair, I know the planning officer is in here. How are we going to make sure that this, I understand there's two dwellings can't be on the same property, but in other places this has happened, that they've left the second dwelling there and used it as a rental. What safeguards do we have in place that this is not going to happen here?
So we've done this before in the municipality. Part of the agreement that the Deputy Clerk and I will sign will be giving the homeowners, the landowners, a specific period of time to remove the dwelling. And they have provided the municipality with a deposit so that should they fail to remove the dwelling in a prescribed period of time, the municipality will remove it using their funds. Is that what you were going to say, Mr. Castleman? There you go. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. We'll move into reports of advisory committees of council, reports, minutes, and council reports. I have a motion moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Bateman, that council receive the Community Events and Civic Awards Advisory Committee meeting minutes from June 11th, 2019 as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. I have a motion moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Bateman, that council receive the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting minutes from June 14th, 2019 as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. I have a motion moved by Councillor Bateman, seconded by Councillor Anderson. The council received the Heritage Advisory Committee meeting minutes from June 17th, 2019 as presented. Is there any discussion? Deputy Mayor Vink.
Thank you. As part of those minutes is mentioned that there's a resolution from the Heritage Committee that the Digital Archives, which is now currently a subcommittee to the Heritage, that we create a separate committee for that group in order for them to really function and do what they need to do, and for the proper minutes to be taken and everything like that. So anyway, so if we approve these minutes, we are approving that, and then that process has to take place of creating that committee. So if there is any discussion around that, I guess now's the time to have that. Or do we need to pull it out separately?
Well, theoretically, let's see where the discussion goes and if we need to do that. Councillor Tadman?
I think that's a great idea. They work very hard and they do need to be separate because, you don't do the same things on the Heritage Committee as the Digital Archives do. So I think it's good that they have their own.
Deputy Mayor?
In the beginning, it worked because they needed a committee to work through in order, because we were providing them with some funds to do that. I mean, basically, they're taking the history of Brighton and putting it into the digital archives. If you've ever been to the website, it's amazing what they do. So it's just, I guess, a different way to support them. They're not all wild about being a part of a committee of council, you know what I mean? But it's about bringing it in and making sure that it continues on for years to come. That's really the big reason we're doing it.
And this in no way competes with what the county does with regard to archival documents?
No, this is completely, these are photos and stories, and it's about the history of Brighton.
I just wanted to be clear on that one. Councillor Tadman?
And it's really worth your while to go to the History Weekend, because they interview different people that have lots of history in the town. And I sat one whole afternoon and thoroughly enjoyed all the different speakers. And Ralph was one of them in Eugenia. So it's good that we've got that. We wouldn't have had that if it hadn't been for those people.
So all those video stories are on the website, right? Yeah. Anyone else? Councillor Rowley?
And as Councillor Tadman said earlier today, when we talk about Memory Junction, there's a whole archive right there which will need some digital history put away at some point. So I think we need to support groups like this so that we can preserve that stuff.
Councillor LeBlanc?
I see the Deputy Mayor in favour of it, and so am I.
Councillor LeBlanc, could you draw your mic a little closer to you?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Through you, your Chair. My question is will there be a member of council that sits on this committee with them?
That is typically how we roll. We don't know what the terms of reference are. That'll have to be struck. So by accepting these minutes, we accept the recommendation, and that will have a snowball effect through the clerk's office. So there you go, Candace, just in case you were bored. Yeah. Anything further? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. And our final set of minutes is moved by Councillor Bateman, seconded by Councillor Anderson, that Council receive the Applefest Advisory Committee meeting minutes from June 18th, 2019 as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. We'll move into reports and minutes of statutory committees, boards, and external agencies. Just have the Police Services Board, moved by Councillor Bateman, seconded by Councillor Anderson. The Council received the Police Service Board meeting minutes from May 24th, 2019 as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. And now we go on to correspondence, direction items, endorsements, communications, and petitions. I have a motion moved by Councillor Bateman, seconded by Councillor Anderson. The Council... The Council receives for information or accepts the donation of commissioned Indigenous work of art for the municipal building lobby space. Councillor Bateman, this is your motion. Do you want to receive, or would you like to accept the donation?
Support.
Thank you. So the motion reads that Council accepts the donation of commissioned Indigenous work of art for the municipal building lobby space, and Councillor Anderson is a seconder. You're okay with that? Is there any discussion? Councillor Tadman?
Through you, Mayor, just that it certainly should be referred to staff so they would, have a discussion where it's going to be put. It specifies the lobby. I don't know if there's any walls there, but there must be something there.
There's lots of wall above the glass curtains, and
if that's pretty high though for artwork.
I think that's the intent, though.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay.
And the commission piece will take a while to create, so there's lots of opportunity for discussion with staff. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Are there any opposed? Motion is carried with our thanks to the DBIA. I have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Vink, seconded by Councillor Bateman, that Council refer to staff the request to amend the existing discharge agreement by deleting the requirement for testing analysis of the sewage from the club members' boat holding tanks. This is with regard to the Presqu'île Yacht Club's correspondence. Is there any discussion? Councillor Rowley.
Thank you, Mayor. They talk about the testing and the expense of that. Is that a once per year testing, or do they have to test on a monthly basis?
Mr. Castleman, do you know the answer to that? Okay, and we don't have staff here, but I do know there are members of the Presqu'île Yacht Club present. If council's interested in hearing the answer from them, I'm sure they have it. Is that okay if we hear? Yeah. Commodore? The floor is yours. So, gentlemen, this is not a delegation. It's just to answer specific questions, if you will, please. Yeah. You do not.
The answer is that typically it's once a year, but it can be more.
Could you just push the button in front of you? There you go. There you go.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Mayor, councillors, typically we test once a year, but it can be more depending if the municipality wants it done more often or not.
That present, you just do it once a year?
Yeah, once a year we do all the samples.
Councillor Tadman?
You'll have to remind me, but this has been going on for a long time. You went through having to test all the time and then proving that there was no formaldehyde in the tanks, or very minuscule. I certainly would support the first part of the motion that says supports request from your club to amend the existing discharge agreement by deleting the requirement. But according to the motion there, you want to refer it to staff. We've been referring this to staff I don't know how many times over the years, and it always comes back that there's no problem. So I don't know how many more times the staff have to come back and tell us that, but if that's council's wishes, then it may have to go to staff for another, and then, but.
I'm going to go to the Deputy Mayor. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. I think the reason for referring to staff one more time, I know it's a bit of a hassle, but the other times we referred to staff, council decided that we were not going to go that route. So I think that the proper route is to refer to staff, get a report, and make a decision at that time. I don't want to bypass that, and that's why it's written the way it is.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Anderson?
I'd like to agree with the Deputy Mayor on that.
Noted. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor LeBlanc?
Sure, Chair. With all the sampling you've done, have you found any contaminants or any ammonia in your samples?
The substance of concern for the town staff has been formaldehyde. So we ban their use at the club, and we only allow senior members to pump out at the club, so there's no visiting boats. And we attest through the staff, our members, that they don't use formaldehyde. We only use an enzyme additive, and we maintain logbooks we sign off on that, send that information to the municipality. So we're absolutely convinced that there's no risk to the municipal system, and we've had discussion with staff. They seem to agree, but to satisfy yourselves, I think the proper course would be to go to staff and get that confirmation.
Thank you, Commodore. And you'll continue to complete those logbooks and submit those to staff, even if we remove this line?
All other terms of the agreement would stay in effect, absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. The next piece of correspondence is from Beacons of Light, the British Home Child Commemoration. I have a motion moved by Councillor LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Rowley. The Council supports the correspondence from Beacons of Light, British Home Child Commemoration, inviting communities to light up a monument, bridge, or building, and an invitation to the mayor to participate. So the mayor doesn't have a big flashlight that he can light up a building with. So I imagine what we should do is, if we approve this, we should tell staff which building we'd like to light up, and then direct them to do so. And that is on Applefest Saturday, just so everyone knows. So that is Saturday, September 28th. And the want is to light up a building in red, white, and blue to commemorate the British and Canadian colors. So I'll open the floor to discussion. Councillor Anderson.
Maybe the chief can park his truck next to a building and turn the lights on.
There. I do know that when the Grands for Africa ask us to light up a building orange, we light up King Edward Park Arena because it's a white, more or less a white building, so it reflects the colors well. So I guess I would suggest that maybe, and because it's central and on Elizabeth Street, it might be a good building to do. So does that work for everyone?
That would have been my suggestion as far as it's a little bit more visible to folks.
So Councillor LeBlanc and Rowley, can I just say, and that Brighton lights up the King Edward Park Arena? So it now reads, receive the correspondence from Beacons of Lightbridge Home Child Commemoration and that Brighton lights up the King Edward Park Arena as per the correspondence. Is that okay with you, Councillors LeBlanc and Rowley? Is there any further discussion? Councillor Tadman.
So does the lights come out of the rec budget, Parks and Rec budget?
At this stage, yeah.
So they have permission to go ahead and purchase them? Okay, no problem.
I'm just nodding my head. I really.
Well, I think if we all nod our heads, then it's okay, right?
This essentially provides staff with direction to light that building up on the 28th of September. So they're going to have to find themselves a red and a white and a blue light bulb.
Well, they need more than 3.
No, they'll figure it out. Jim's lit up the arena before. He'll know what to do. I'm quite confident in that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. And our next piece of correspondence is with regard to Cogeco's broadband expansion exploration project, and I have a motion moved by Councillor Tadman, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, the Council of the Municipality of Brighton. I'm going to assume it's support. Is that correct? Support Cogeco in completing an assessment exercise to identify unserved and underserviced areas in preparation for further funding opportunities. And whereas the Municipality of Brighton have an opportunity to provide input into identifying our unserved and underserviced areas, and therefore be it resolved that the Municipality of Brighton agrees to support and participate in the project. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Our one piece of FYI correspondence is from the City of Kitchener, and I have a motion moved by Councillor Rowley, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc, that Council receive the resolution from the City of Kitchener regarding single-use disposable wipes. Is there any discussion? I'd just like to say that during our tour of the wastewater pollution control plant, I saw a number of these disposable wipes. They do not biodegrade in our sewage treatment plant, and they become an impediment to our system. So I think the not using them would be a good idea if we could voluntarily do that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Now I'll open the floor to question period. If there's anyone in the gallery who has a question with regard to anything on our agenda, they may approach and ask council.
Thank you. For the record, David Green. In the 2 notices of motion today, they are both dated today, but they reference the previous council, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't experiencing a Groundhog Day moment here.
Yeah.
What he means is I used an old resolution sheet and it has the previous council members. That's my fault. So I'll have to make sure that that's fixed.
That will be corrected for the next meeting.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I'll phrase this as a question. Will I see you all on Applefest Saturday at the fire hall to enjoy the distracted driving simulator that 2 of our councillors have driven, but apparently they're not driving it again.
Is it there all day?
It will be there from 10 until 2-ish.
You will see me.
Very good. You're most welcome.
May I comment on it?
Sure.
That was an excellent presentation that you had there at the OPP station, and I got to drive it again. It was my second time driving it. Drove it in Ottawa, drove it here, but it's a fantastic training device, and we're very lucky that you've put so much effort into and the police community policing. That's the whole department that's put the effort into this. So I think we should look forward to it, and we should all be there on at the fire hall. Great.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Any other questions from members of the public? So we will take a 10-minute recess before going into our in-camera session. Okay, everyone, I'll call the meeting back to order. And I have a motion moved by Councillor Anderson, second by Councillor Bateman, that Council resolve itself into closed session September 16th, 2019 at 7:40 p.m. pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act 2001, subsection 239(2)(c. And we really should note what we're going, in a small way, what we're going into camera about in the motion. And that's with regard to a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, specifically the Brighton East Industrial Park. If it's okay with you, Councillors Anderson and Bateman, I'm going to add that. Are you sure?
Yeah. We've done it all along.
Okay. I just thought we got our hand slapped there last term.
Maybe it has to be noted in the agenda of what it is that we're coming to speak about.
For the public's information. Got it. Thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried.